I'm about to say today I'd like to talk about the new hero information that came out today. Not only do we know all the kits of all the heroes that we can pull and more, right? We also learned their divinity cost, so we can actually talk about these people. So I'm going to go through. I'm not going to read all the kits. All the kits have been covered before, right? But I'm basically going to talk about if it's a new ultimate, right? If it's new core, new passive. We'll talk about how impactful that is, and we'll talk about ability costs as well. So we have a new update card for a new has 1,000 divinity cost for the ultimate. Yeah, I don't know, Fateless, man. I think a unkillable Phoenix team, man, your clan boss is gonna have to ignore Phoenix and its rage mechanic, because I think that this is going to be a real thing. Maybe. Question mark. 1,000 is a lot, but we have ways to reduce it. We'll get to them in a little bit, but you know, man, 1,000's, you know, it's kind of it, man. Kind of protects you until you get there, and then drops the Phoenix. Ooh, remember, Phoenix gives you 100% turn meter as well. So when they res, you'll immediately take a turn as well. There are shenanigans here at 1,000. Yeah, you can't beat this, man. And especially with 1,000, it makes this better, because you're going to get to 10% your divinity marks faster, right? Because you have less divinity, so you get to 10% faster. Anu's looking really good. Anu's about the same as I thought it'd be. I expect this ultimate to be more. I thought it was going to be like 1,500. So at 1,000, Anu's good. All right, next one. Anubis, we all know and love him. We have a better passive. I thought this used to be 20%. It's unnoteworthy. Who cares, right? This passive still sucks. Rest of the kit's awesome, though. So Anubis is still Anubis. Awesome. Let's keep going. Okay, Apollo, right? We talked about the divinity. The divinity is 1,000 with no initiative. That's scary, especially if we are reducing core ability cooldowns at 1,000 initiative. So yeah, Apollo's really good, and we knew this as well. Right, so this is actually reasonable to you know, this is probably a 3-turnish with no investment, and then you could probably, you know, if you do some crazy stuff, you probably get this to a 2-turn. That means your 3-turn cores are becoming 2-turn cores. So keep that in mind, right? Apollo is definitely really good. Plus there is this divinity thing. We don't know if it's percentage or with flat. I think it would be flat, but we'll see here. But Apollo's looking good, right? Apollo, this 1,000 really helps Apollo a lot. Next, we have Ares here. I think this is too high for Ares kit. This was the shining thing for me. I thought that maybe this was really low, like a 700, like 5 to 800, right? Like, 'cause I know Hercules is like 500, and I thought that'd be like really save this guy. As he is now, I think he's still a little underwhelming. It depends what the generator is too. If the generator is on a strong hit and it gives us like 200 per strong hit, then maybe this is still good, but I don't have my breath held, right? We'll have to see. But Ares is definitely looking he's looking the same spot he kind of was in, right? Let's be realistic. He's just doing a lot of damage. He's trying to be a wall breaker, but I don't think he's been given enough tools to be a wall breaker. I would like to see even something that's like, if this is a strong hit and the target's under defense up or whatever, ignore 100% of the defense, right? Maybe that's Awakening or something too. Maybe he's a very Awakening heavy champion, but as he is right now, he's not doing enough to bunker bust like a Heimdall, right? Like, he's just not going to break these defenders, how strong they are. And I was really hoping that this would be a really low cooldown to make up for that, make him that bunker buster, like every other turn, just smacking for 500 more damage on a target while ignoring critical buffs and ignoring defense, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. All right, next one. We have Athena. Wow. Talk about a character that didn't need this getting it. We already have DR here. So we get DR and defense. We get the best shield we've seen. Because spoilers, Heimdall shield got nerfed. This is the best shield in the game, isn't it? Comment down below if I'm wrong, but this is the best shield. So we have the best shield with more DR, defense up, and we have the 70% chance to petrify. That means when you A3 with all your DR, these shields are going to last longer. You're going to get more petrifies out. It's scary, man. It's a scary world out there. As for the ultimate, increased damage of the next ultimate, each time an ally is attacked under shield. This is still a little unusual, right? We don't know. It seems like this becomes kind of a nuke, which is fine. 3% each time an ally is under shield. It's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell how this will pan out, but it is good, right? You kind of want it's okay if this is a high thing because you kind of want it to build up a little bit. For Arena, I think she's scary. I think there's gonna be a really scary defender team in Arena, and having these petrifies on shields, terrifying, man, terrifying. So yeah, Athena's a big winner here with the defense up. 2, she was missing in her kit. Now she has it with the DR, with the best shield. Can't go wrong. Cizin, we get to see this thing here. Yeah, I mean, they really value this precision. So do I, right? You can check my strong hit video here. We talk about precision, and I value it, right? And I think they do as well. So yeah, good. Cool. Cizin's good. Next question. Dracula. Did they change Dracula at all? Decent hitter still. Yeah, they don't show all the awakenings, right? Because we get to see the awakenings in the in this video here. We get to see the next one in the corner. Bleed. Yep. Drac's still looking good. I hear people talking about a call for Dracula for clan boss. I would advise. I don't know, right? Is he a good damage dealer for clan boss? Of course. However, we don't know the clan boss's mechanics, and we don't know if they take quarter damage to bleed or not, right? So I would say if you're taking Dracula only for clan boss, I would hesitate to do that. Because remember, in the alpha, even alpha 3 bleeds were still bugged. So you're off a false presumption of how strong bleeds are against bosses that are immune to them or are resistant to them. But I think Dracula is a cool pick, right? I think all these characters are a cool pick, honestly. So yeah, next one. Freya. We got a confirmation on the passive here. It's what we were hoping it was. Allies inflict a critical hit, heal that ally off of her initiative, right? This is much better than this. Much better. Because we said the people that are doing crits usually can't build a lot of initiative. But with Freya, you want to cycle this ultimate. We are building initiative on Freya. Or especially you're sweetening the pot with heals too. Oh man, this girl's gonna have 500 initiative by the time I'm done with her if I can help it. Right? I mean, if you think about it that way, every time someone's crit, they're getting 5k. You bring in these team attacks, they're critting again. That's another, that's more. If they have multi-hitters, right? We see like even Ares has a 3-hitter, and Wukong is just healing a lot. And then we also see men's coming in. This initiative scaling, it has to be wrong. 5% initiative is so preciously low that this is probably 500 initiative. But I would like to keep in mind here that something else as well is Freya will be doing decent damage because she's increasing her own attack and crit damage as well. Also, we know the sharpen changes. Sharpen is a much better debuff than it used to be. Well, I hope it's a much better debuff. It has the potential to be a much better debuff here because it may be doing. I did some math in my sharpen video that I linked to the Cizin thing when I linked during Cizin. So sharpen's a pretty valuable buff if it's doing 30, 40, or 50%, right? If it's 20 or 10%, don't worry about it, right? We don't know the exact number yet, but keep your eye on sharpen, right? People that have sharpen, this is a real debuff. Attack up and sharpen on the same ability, obviously phenomenal. Let's go next. Fujin, this is a big ultimate. Blah. Fusion to me is just like a passive holder, right? This is really good. but like you just put them in a stun set, right? So we talked about in this video here, I talk about why this is not as good as it seems, because you only get a transfer whack 1 debuff. Yeah, this hurts. We're not really doing a lot of damage. I guess it is kind of a cleanse. Maybe that's why, because it's like a defender cleansing, so it's kind of out of what is the word? Out of archetype. So you have to pay the cost for it. This hurts. You're like 2,000 is like you're casting that at wave 3 maybe, right? Right, next. Grendel. We talked about Athena being a winner. Grendel. I said in my Grendel video, right? I said it in the first video. It depends what we're speeding towards if this passive is good. We are speeding towards an extra turn? This is Zeus. This is what Zeus does. With no books. This man just smacks them. This is no awakening, no books. 14% HP? And then an AoE to spare? This is a brawler Zeus that has an AoE CC and an execute? I mean, the execute's high, right? I expect it to be about like 1,700, right? Somewhere in that range. We do get spotted a little bit in the beginning. And then we are also increasing another thing that I have to talk about here too. Can we go back to Apollo? Let's go back to Apollo for a second. So Apollo here says stacks reset on each wave. And then if we go back to Grendel, we see this HP stacking does not say what it is. I really wish, because Zeus says that his stay between waves. I really wish we would have Zeus's card so we could put the nail in the coffin, do these stacks, stay between waves. Because that changes this line of text right here, increases the hero's HP by 5% for each enemy defeated, to either relevant or irrelevant, right? If this is something where I can, I'm farming my stages, I go to wave 1, I beat it, I go to wave 2, I execute the entire wave, giving me 20 to 25% more HP, so I do more damage into the boss. This is very, very relevant. Versus if it doesn't carry over, bosses that don't have minions doesn't increase your boss damage, right? And I know this doesn't work on bosses, but like, this is still damage. Like, this is still really good damage. So I'm leaning towards it does, just because we see the Apollo having the different wording. So I imagine we're in a situation now where if you see any stacking, it is, but that's just my guess. I don't know for sure, right? Everything is subject to change. But with Apollo expressly saying it doesn't carry over between waves, one have to assume that these do, right? So I want to judge it on that? I mean, Grendel's great anyway. Doesn't matter. Next one. Hades. Asleep. A 50% sleep. That's good. 50% sleep. And then we see this speed down and it down under curse. So we decrease the target's turn meter by 20%, then put speed down. Very good combination. Yeah. Cool. This is about where I expect it to be too. Speed down and reduced turn meter. This is a very powerful effect together, along with some sleeps and some despairs, especially with lock ultimate too. This is scary, right? AoE lock ultimate at a pivotal turn could be the difference, right? I also like we're also always playing curse on the highest attack. That means that trying to keep, an arena trying to keep these slayers alive, they can't be healed. And if they don't have any slayers, maybe brawlers have the most attack, maybe. So now brawlers can't be healed. Or taking half healing rather. And bosses that, but we see the Daimyo has a mechanic where he gets a barrier, right? And so the curse will half the barrier for free. So Hades is bringing a lot with this automatic curse here. Any healing or shielding fights that you can engineer, this just kind of happens for free. And then he brings some sleep and stuff as well. So I think Hades is a bit of a sleeper pick. But yeah, cool. Next one. Heimdall. So this is buffed. This used to be 30%. And then this used to not affect allies. So the Heimdall imprint is like Heimdall's old passive pretty much. And they buffed this imprint here. Did he always transfer all debuffs? I thought he only transferred dots before. I could be mistaken though. But yeah, I mean, Heimdall. We do see the shield weakening here. There's also the wrong symbol here. There should be a shield, not a stabber. But yeah, this is Heimdall, right? AoE retaliate, and still doing this really big smack as well. Yeah, Heimdall. Next, Hell. So we knew this got reduced, right? We saw it in a video, I'm pretty sure. If not, someone told me it got reduced. I don't remember who, but someone told me this got reduced, and we see it here, and I'm very happy, right? This is something we can farm to get our very juicy attack up, right? 100% attack up is nothing to scoff at. This is very strong. It doesn't say it resets, but here's the thing, right? I don't want to be like, what's the word? I don't want to say something like, oh, it doesn't reset. Hell's really good. And then, oh, hey, we just didn't miss the wording, right? Oh, we didn't realize we put that in Apollo. That's the default behavior. A lot of people think it does reset over waves. And like in respect to that, right? I don't want to say either way, but if this is something we need to know, right? As a community, this really helps us evaluate, because Hell goes from like, if this stacks, Hell's like a B+ pick, right? For farming waves and like boss content and stuff. If it doesn't stack, she's kind of bad, right? Like she goes like A-, B+ to like C-. This is something we really need to know. But yeah, this is huge, right? Next. Hercules is not doing anything different. I'd say on the lookout for Hercules, look out for Sources of Immortal, because 100% more damage and a 2-turn stun is huge. So Wukong's imprint can help you cheat this, right? And I think Wukong imprint in particular is very strong on Hercules anyway, because of bringing in the AoE. But when you die, prevent your death. Obviously, Hercules has this too, but you also get the Immortal stacks. And then the Immortal stacks will make you do 100% more damage. So look out for Sources of Immortality in the game, because Hercules, this is a very big smack if you can get the Immortal on Hercules reliably, right? So right now the only way I know about is Wukong, but you know, as we go forward, look for these ways to get immortality onto Hercules, right? Next, you have Isis. Now, Isis received a nerf that she is stealing a buff, which she always did, and then she spreads that buff to allies. This in the alpha, right, was she would just spread a buff on her. And so a common thing you would do is you do shield, defense up, and then the A1 gives mend. It did in the alpha, right? So you would do this, get the mend, and this would spread mends like wildfire. But now it seems like it'll only spread the one you steal. Bosses still have really good buffs though, right? So like this is not trivial. This is still really good, but it's not the mend machine we saw, right? And then we have an HP based shield as well, right? Which is usually defensive based, so that is cool. The res is fine, and then this is also really good as well. If there is something like stun tanking for the clan boss, obviously this is phenomenal, right? This is something we can build around. I think Isis is significantly weaker because of not being able to spread the mends, though, right? She's much more reliant on what her opponent is doing to get the mends. I still think she's a fine pick, though. I'm not fretting too much, especially this extra turn with the defense up shield. Cool, dope. And defense up for 3 turns as well. Next. This says work in progress. Okay. Yeah. It looks like maybe, I don't know what this means. That's a low number though. That's all I gotta say. That's a low number. Yeah, work in progress. They're probably tuning these numbers here, right? And yeah. All right, next. Izanami also work in progress. Cool. This is 1,000. Yeah, I'd want this to be a Doomsday Ultimate. I said it in the podcast, right? But it seems to be a work in progress, right? I imagine these will be very similar to each other, probably just tuning the numbers to make it feel good. Makes sense, right? Because last thing we want is infinite ultimates, and this man is going to be the #1 culprit of infinite ultimates, right? So, keep that in mind. Lamashtu, 1,000. I was expecting this to be much higher. I am Lamashtu is on the fence of being absolutely much better than your normal damage dealing slayer, like direct damage slayer, and they're on the fence of being a step above the normal slayer. And I think that 1,000, it really depends on what the generator is, but I think Lamashtu should still probably rate at slayer level, right? It's just a glorified slayer at the end of the day. But this 1,000's a step in the right direction, man. This does a lot of damage too. I mean, obviously these two base multipliers are really weak, but there is attack up 2 in the kit as well. Interesting. Lamashtu is very interesting. Next, we got Loki. We know everything about Loki, right? Nothing's changed. Loki is still Loki. Could not convince them to increase the sleep duration. This should be a 2-turn sleep. I always believe that. But whatever. Corrupt's really good though. Place corrupt on each target for 2 turns. Right. Awesome. Now Metztli we learn a lot about, right? So we have a weaker speed lead than we usually see, right? Because most of them are 25, right? And we see her restoring 10% of destroyed HP with the allies with the most destroyed HP. This character is so supporting. It's not funny. They don't progress the battle offensively in any way. And they have really niche things here. So, I mean, this is nice, but I don't know. I think this character is, it has to be created for some specific content, right? There has to be something that's destroying your max HP. Because otherwise, this hero, I don't see why they couldn't be a, epic, honestly. I'd like to see this be 100% chance, and then maybe I'll start changing my mind. I mean, it's really good. The fight that needs this, I'm sure it's pivotal, right? But I don't see this for general content, right? An AoE revive is okay, right? It's good, but it's kind of a crutch, and you want to graduate from the crutch as soon as you can. And then I think this is great, but I mean, yeah, this is really good. But it's not something I'm excited to bring into my game, right? I'm talking about from a mini game perspective, right? I think pulling her when I need a cleanser, I'll feel happy about. Yeah, I think still Metztli is still very very niche, right? Very very niche. Morgan Le Fay. Did they change the ultimate? No, it is 1,000 too. That's actually bad. I'd want this to be 50,000. I never want to cast this. Still do the turn meter. I'm surprised it. Sorcerer's Edict. Did they change any of this? No, she's all the same. We just see this 1,000 change. Whatever. Cool. Yeah, they really need to bump these numbers up. These numbers are not incentivizing me enough. So it says remove any bleed stacks. That makes me think it counts each stack as a separate one. So what's the most damage I can do with this? Let's actually give her a shot here. You could have 10 bleed stacks and then either burn acid blaze. So that's 13 stacks on a target. And let's say there's 5 targets, right? We're in a boss fight. So 13 times 5 is 65, right? So I'm doing 13 times 25 is what, 325? So times 4 damage. It's only a 200% multiplier. It's only a 600% attack multiplier for the triple I go through. And this is the only this is the only thing motivating me to build attack and crit damage in the kit. Yeah, I think these numbers need to be way, way, way tuned, right? If that's what we want to do. Like, I think I would like to see something along the lines of make this a massive accuracy scaling, and then at 20% or more, or 20 or more debuffs, make this a guaranteed crit. So then I build accuracy and crit damage, and then I do the stacking thing, and then if I remove all these debuffs, I get a guaranteed big crit with an accuracy based attack, right? But I think going in a different direction might be better for this kid as well. I don't know, right? But she definitely does not want to take an extra turn at all, because you're just removing all these stacks. You're doing an okay hit that, like, you're not helping me build the crit damage and crit rate that I need to make this a big hit. And then I just put it back on like that. I don't know. But 1,000's low, right? So we'll see. Anyway, next one. Mulan. We get to see critical hits. Now this is interesting, right? Why does she have a strong hit passive, but she cares about doing critical hits here? Interesting, right? Interesting. So this is actually a pretty good hit. Like this is deceivingly low because you're doing a minimum of, like, this is actually a minimum of like 400 and change. And then if you have like 5 people alive, this is 50% more damage. This is actually deceptively low. This is actually a very big hit here. Critical attacks reduce defense. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of like seeing Mulan a little bit here. Drain and Hexar. On the target for 2 turns. Its target's defeat decreases divinity cost by 10%, second 3 times. This is the weird thing too, man, right? Like this feels like I'm gonna be on this like stacking thing. This feels like it carries over between waves, right? It's just like I pick up a guy in the first wave, and then like during the second one, I pick up 2 people, and then now I have this really nice ultimate cycling for the boss that I'm on. And I'd be able to do my ultimate like 2 or 3 times against the boss, where if I didn't stack it, I could only do it like maybe once or twice. Yeah, I think Mulan is, her numbers are deceptive, but I don't think they're good enough to be like, yeah, you have to pick Mulan. And there's definitely this bit of a tension between getting critical hits and strong hit. And I was hoping we'd see Sharpen here, right? She gives herself Sharpen. So she doesn't. Spoilers. So she'll need a Sharpen enabler to get this chance to strong hit. We'll see, man. We don't even know how good Sharpen is yet either. But this is deceptively low. This is actually a pretty decent sized hit, right? But yeah. I'd also like to see Vanish do more than not being able to target. I think like 20% reduced damage from AoEs would also go a long way for Vanish. Because a lot of things are just AoE, right? So I think I would like to see this, but who knows? Maybe she'll just be a really big damage dealer, right? We'll see. Pazuzu. So what do we know about Pazuzu, right? We know this, and we learned this too. Yeah, I was reading this like, I don't feel like I know this because I don't. We get an accuracy down, and we remove a random buff. This is good. 100% chance to remove a buff is kind of big. Kind of big, actually. I still think he is an order tower guy, right? But maybe the boss, we want to remove the buffs, right? Or we can resist some of his debuffs with his accuracy down for 2 turns. Yeah, and he has corrupt. He hates buffs, man. He cannot stand them. He makes him so mad. He hates buffs. He strips them with corrupt, and he strips them with buffs here, and he gets turn meter whenever people buff. Do not buff in this, man. Like, does this look like the man who wants you to buff? No. Pazuzu's still niche though, but I think of the order tower. Like, Pazuzu's kind of someone I want to pull, right? Like, I want to pull him and be like, all right, cool, I'm doing the Order Tower. That kind of locked it in. Because he's going to be so good at it. He does decent damage, too. This ultimate does okay damage for being a disruptor. Interesting. Man, oh man, oh man. I already thought Perun was pretty good. And then you hit me with the speed down 2 for 2 turns, 75% chance. That's pretty good when you're stripping all this turn beater. Yeah, man. I think Perun's really cool too. I like Perun a lot. Speed down 2 is really good, especially when you're stripping turn meter, especially a 2-turn one on a basic attack. Thumbs up from me, man. Perun's good. And then we see this. This is about what I expected. I expected it actually to be a little bit higher. And they spot you a bit for the first one as well. This does a lot of damage. This does a lot of damage. So for a disruptor, gives me hope that they give a big multiplier to Raijin, right? All right, next. Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl has sharpen. And I think looking at this kid again, it's so good, right? And here's the reason why I say it. He spots you some divinity. So if you go in here with like an Art of War, right, the weapon that gives you more initial divinity, this passive is crazy, right? I think there are worlds where you play him, right? And you do your turn meter thing, and the rest of your team is dumb slow. And then you get your divinity right after you take Quet's turn, and it boosts up the really slow person by 50% divinity when you pop this. And there'll be an arena team where like, okay, you pop the ultimate, get attack up, sharpen, accuracy up, and then I'm just gonna nuke on this really slow, powerful guy. Quetzalcoatl, no matter how you use him, he just seems like an arena like beast, right? With a 21% speed too. Yeah, man, he's good. And then we also see the Petrify with Sharpen, which will increase your weak hit, your strong hit chance, and actually, which also increases your strong hit chance. This Petrify is a real thing, right? It depends on what the number of Sharpen is. We don't know the number of Sharpen, but if it's like 30, 40, or 50, man, this Petrify, it could be getting close to like at 30, it's a 60% chance to Petrify, and then who knows what accuracy up's gonna do, right? Like, you know, maybe that's 100%. Right? Who knows? Right? Maybe it's a 40% sharpen, and then accuracy up is 100% chance to petrify on the correct affinity, right? On cunning. I don't know, man. Kent's is looking pretty good. Even without that really niche thing. I mean, he's just healing you. He's just healing you, man. It's good. That's good. Raw. Now, Raw. We know Raw already. We had a full reveal of him already. Is anything standing out to me as different? No. I have not seen anyone pull Raw. Raw was someone I was excited to start with. He's kind of someone on my radar, right? Because I like to build Slayers and stuff. But we know from Aaron that Raw is the first tail. So it may be that Raw might be the first fusion, man. That's all I gotta say, right? Imagine in like a few months after the game launches, maybe 2 months after the game launches, we get the first tail, and then Raw's the fusion, man. Makes sense to me, right? And maybe that's why we can't pull him, but we know he's finished. Like we've seen his polish. Like he's one of the first champions polished. Like he feels like he'd be one of the first ones in the game, but we can't pull him. So that makes me believe that maybe he's gonna be like the first event, right? That'd be dope. Or maybe he's a sign-in champion, right? Like maybe it's a you know, when they do the tail thing, it'll be like a 7-day sign-in. That's pretty cool. So Raw's looking great, by the way. I just wanted to say that as well. I've never seen anyone pull Raw, and he was in the alpha, and he's just been polished more since then. So like I'm wondering, man. I'm wondering maybe Raw's gonna be given away for free, right? Or had the chance to through a fusion. Who knows, dude? But it makes sense, right? First tail, right? We know from Adam that he is the first side story content. Maybe. Raw's cool though. Oh, I thought we had. Tell me what it is. Tell me your multipliers. Oh, he does. He won't tell me. He won't tell me, man. It has to be good. I'm taking Raijin is like the #1 champion I want for the mini game because his multipliers have to be good. If they're not, that'd make me sad, and they don't want to see me sad. Fateless likes me. Me and Fateless are friends. They don't want to see me sad. They'll make this big. Don't worry. 300 plus. We also see 100 divinity on a big hit here. With enemies defeated. Cool. Dope. Maybe bringing Hex down, defense down, right? You can't really mess it up. Like this is good. This is always good. So a relatively low divinity cost as well. Cool. And then attack up in all battles. Cool. Next. Shamash. Are you different? I still stand by. I said in one of my first videos, I said that you should lose your divinity when this activates. The way this reads it sounds like you should lose your divinity. It sounds like when an enemy dies, you get full divinity, and then you activate Light of Heaven. But in the alpha, it didn't do that. You would just activate it, and if you had your ultimate, you would just do your ultimate again. Shamash is good, man. We also see one of the few sources of Aether Burn. So, yeah, if you care about that buff, I think it was a dot to your divinity. Weird. It's a weird buff, man. I don't fully remember what it does. I think it was a dot to divinity, though. He's good. Especially Shamash is someone that really values stacking his imprint with his passive. I think this is this increased? Didn't it used to be like 75-35 or something like that? Maybe I'm imagining it. But yeah, Shamash is good. Wukong. Wukong's good. I don't even know if I want to talk about Wukong. He's just so good. I think the big thing that we talk about here is that he gives himself attack up on a decent hit already. So he's going to do an AoE attack up, and then it's going to make this hit harder. He's going to be cutting in attacks all the time. He's going to be an absolute menace to society. And his ultimate divinity is relatively low, especially when you consider that he will be joining attacks and getting 10% divinity all over the place. And this hits pretty hard. So yeah, and then he has a really good speed ore in all battles as well. So Wukong's good. Yeah, next point, right? We don't know what Mira does yet, but I'm sure it's probably like a steal, but instead of stealing, you just like copy, right? This is good. I thought this would be higher as well. We see the shield value decrease. I think I like this here. Svarog's good. Svarog's good. Next question, right? Blunt 2 is significantly weakened. We know it removes. We talked about this in the other video. It removes strong hit chance and strong hit damage. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you are getting strong hit in content, right? But maybe this lets you. Yeah, it doesn't reduce your chance to weak hit though. That's the thing, right? If it reduced your chance to weak hit against the blunted target, it'd be a much better debuff. Because I want to bring in my people and I don't want them to weak hit, right? Because weak hits cannot be critical. But making them not strong hit, who cares? I don't care. Like if I'm bringing in Svarog, I'm not dying, right? So maybe Blunt's more of a PvP anti-strong hit thing now. It's just sad. But the rest of it, the kit's phenomenal. Like Svarog's like the best defensive defender in the game. In my humble opinion, like just straight up, I never want you to die. No tricks, no BS, just don't die. Svarog is good, man. All right, next. Viviane. All right, I need to take my glasses off for this one. I need to rub my eyes. She was already the #1 pick. It's absolutely nutty to me. Nutty to me that they increased this. I thought in my imprint video when I was going over stuff, and I was talking about like we kind of know the passive of this stuff. this hero inflicts, I was like, oh, this is probably allies, right? Not only is this goes to allies, it also goes to 20%. So you are doing 40% more damage when you pile on, right? With this here, right? All allies join the attack, right? Wow. This is actually a nuke with any reasonable damage dealer. And we're also decreasing the divinity cost of each ally by 150. That's relevant. That's very relevant. Yeah, Viviane's just good. Like, the passive's much better than we imagined. Like much better. And the basic is doing something, right? Well, I'll be bringing a phenomenal core and ultimate. Viviane's great. All right, next. Man, Yang Wang. Dude. I thought this guy, like, I am always aware of this lock core, lock passive shenanigans, right? However, you gave the man an AoE speed down too. That's terrifying. That's like this is really good. This guy went from like, hey, kind of niche, like you know, lock core, lock passive, scary, to like, wow. But this is so weird, man. This random debuff thing is so weird. I don't know. I wish this was like a 4-hitter that had like a 50% chance when booked to place each of these on each hit, right? So it's like you don't know which one you're gonna get. It's a 50% chance on each one, but you know, you kind of just give it all to them. I think this is the part that makes the kit like kind of bad. I kind of want these switched. Like I want his basic to give a random debuff, and then his core to give me 100% speed down on all enemies for 2 turns, right? So give this for 1 turn on the basic, give this for 2 turns on the core. Like swap these, and then and I think this guy's kind of on my radar, right? More than just the lock core, lock passive. But it's this weird 50% chance. This is lock core though. If you go first in arena, but you never do this first. You can't go. You're never gonna hit this number if you go first in arena. It's a weird guy, man. And with that, we got no more button. That's all of them. So, you know, go ahead and leave a comment. See what you guys like for it. This was very informal, very whatever. Make sure you guys subscribe and whatnot. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you.